This video is going to be your guide to living in Celina, Texas. And if you're thinking about buying a home, you want to know the good and the bad, the pros and the cons, and the yin and the yang to living in Celina, Texas. So we want to cover everything that you need to know about Celina. That way, if you're thinking about making a purchase in the area, this should help give you the extensive overview of what's going on in Celina, what you should look out for, not only on the good side, but also on the bad side. There are some downsides that you want to stick around till the end for, because it looks very promising, but you just want to be mindful of some of those negatives. By the way, my name is Levi Lassick. I'm with the Living in Dallas, Texas team. And if you want to know everything there is about living in Dallas, Texas and the surrounding areas like Celina, make sure you subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Dallas. And by the way, if you want one of our free relocation guides, then just check the description below. That's also where all of our contact information is. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call if you want to talk to myself or Travis personally, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Celina. So let's get started and jump into the primary pro, number one on the list of living in Celina. But before we get into that first pro, teaser, I wanted to share with you some of the stats. So Celina currently has a population a little bit over 16,000 according to the last census report in 2020. So that's probably grown significantly. Some would estimate closer to 30,000 now. And Celina has tripled in population over the last 10 years. And it's heading that way in the future as well. Could triple again by 2030 are the projections. So it's growing fast. Now the median income in Celina is around $126,000. Now that's not really necessarily coming from the job specifically in Celina, but you have very close proximity to Prosper, Frisco, and Plano. By the way, got videos on those as well. But with being that close to those areas, that's where a majority of the jobs will be, and where people are living in Celina, that's likely where they work unless they're working from home or remotely. Now, homeownership is a big deal in Celina, currently with over 88% of residents that live in Celina own their own homes, which is really great for property values. And in proximity to the airport, you're between 42 to 45 miles, depending on which route you take. And if you add traffic to that, you're probably looking anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour just to get to the airport. So you want to be mindful of that whenever you're making a trip or heading out of town. And if you want to get to downtown Dallas, the same. You got about a 45 to 50 miles, which is probably going to extend into 50 to 60 minutes. So that would be arguably one of the cons if you like the downtown lifestyle, or if you want to head down there. Although making a weekend trip is not that bad. You only got about an hour drive to get there. Now that would be on the tolls if you take the tollway, or you could go over to 75. That would add probably an extra 10 minutes to your route, but you wouldn't have to pay tolls, but you might pay that little extra on gas. So, kind of a little give and take. Otherwise, Celina is up there. It's what some would consider country town right now of Dallas, Texas, on the north side. One of the least developed right now, but heading there in a big direction. Now we're going to get into the first pro, which is going to be growth and appreciation. Here's the deal. Celina, as I mentioned, closer to around 30,000 in population right now. They are permitted for 378,000 residences in Celina. That is twice the size of Frisco right now. So if you're someone who likes to speculate, or you really want to get a really good return on your real estate, especially as your primary resident, or maybe you're looking to buy some rentals, especially with that new Universal Park going in Frisco, which will be right down the road, then growth and appreciation is going to be your biggest advocate, your biggest friend in Celina. There is so much room to grow there, and homes in the last 5 years have appreciated 58%. That is significant. Can you imagine that? How much equity that a lot of homeowners that live in Celina that have been there for the last 5 years now have in their homes? That is very significant. And you're probably headed in that same direction for quite some time. Again, when you go from 30,000 to 378,000, which now that could take a decade or two, probably closer to 2 to get there. But how long do you plan to be there? And if you want to be right there in the new central aspect of Dallas, North Dallas, which, by the way, if you've ever heard of Dallas as referred to as DFW, that's Dallas Fort Worth. I believe what Dallas is moving into is DFFW. It will be referred to at some point Dallas Frisco Fort Worth. Frisco becoming the new hub of Dallas, and that's where a lot of companies and corporations are moving their headquarters to Frisco and on the border of Plano and Frisco. So Celina being very close to there makes it very desirable because you can still find some affordable housing. But before we jump into that, which would be number 2, we're going to cover a little bit more on the growth and appreciation side. And one of the factors that will spur that development is the extension of the Dallas North Tollway. So right now around Celina, it kind of just ends. So if you were to drive there, you would end up flying off a cliff. But they're developing that past Celina. It kind of ends around the Prosper area. It's all under construction, but it's moving very quickly. On top of that, they have approved and will be building a Costco in Celina. So this is really unheard of for Costco. Normally, Costco wants to place their facilities in areas that are very densely populated and they know it's going to serve a ton of people. But that's how confident Costco is in the development of Celina, because they are approved and will be building there shortly. And you'll see by this recent article that this is going to be one of the first phases that Costco will anchor in a shopping center with over 105 acres in the total development. And so that includes land at the southeast corner of the intersection. And this will be a part of a mixed-use development in the Frisco Prosper markets. And now they will have a Costco there. Now, when it's fully developed, the project will include more than 200,000 square feet of retail and restaurants and 800 luxury urban residential units. So this is estimated to bring around 1,000 to 1,400 jobs just in the development of this entire area. And this will be the largest commercial development ever seen in Celina. And Celina is over 100 years old, actually founded in 1876. So been around for a while, and now the boom is about to happen. On top of that, Methodist Hospital has announced it's also building a new location there. So if you eat too many hot dogs at Costco, don't worry, you're going to have a Methodist Hospital right around the corner just in case. Nothing against Costco hot dogs, but you get the point. So in this recent article in D Magazine, they talk about the job and the economic development that the Methodist Hospital will be bringing to the area as well. So the Methodist Hospital will be a 200,000 square foot facility and should start seeing patients in late 2024. It's a $200 million project over 46.7 acres. And they even note that in this article, Celina has been named the fastest growing city in North Texas. And with this, they expect the hospital to be over 220 jobs alone just in that area. And that doesn't include the development. It will include 30 medical surgical beds, 10 postpartum beds, 8 ICU beds, 12 emergency department beds, 3 operating rooms, a cardiac catheterization lab, and 2 procedure rooms, 4 labor and delivery rooms, 2 C-section rooms, and a medical office building. So you can see they're focusing a lot on birth. So they're maybe planning with this growth, there's going to be a lot of couples moving into the area, but you get the idea. But with Costco and a hospital going in there, that's going to help spur the growth of Celina, therefore creating appreciation in the market, likely. I can't guarantee that, but likely where you see this type of development on the commercial side, guess what happens with all of those jobs, all of that development? The people will follow. And so if you're thinking about even buying around that time or around this time now in Celina, the sooner you buy is always going to be better because you're going to build in that appreciation. And even right now, with interest rates the way they are, we're still seeing a lot of activity in the market. Our team in particular is extremely busy, and we're running into multiple offers again, just as rates start to creep back down. And if we see them go back to 6 or even below 6, we expect everything to get probably a little bit out of control again. And I know with the phone calls we're getting every single day, then it's moving in that direction. Now we're coming up on summer as well, and that's just something you want to be mindful of. So as I mentioned, the number 2 pro in Celina is going to be affordable housing for now. Okay, so this is an area where we're starting to see appreciation happen very quickly. As I mentioned, 58% just in the last 5 years alone. But you can still find new construction homes there under 400,000. They're getting fewer and far between, but you still can find some. You can even find homes as low as 198,000. Now, based on the last 90 days of activities, what's sold, the lowest price home on the market was 198,000, but it sold for 250,000. So that's 52,000 over the list price. And it is not a pretty house at all whatsoever. It's definitely a fixer-upper. Somebody will come in and put between 60 to 80,000 probably in that house, and it'll be worth closer to around 350, maybe 380, depending on that area. There's still opportunities to find some fixer-uppers if you want to, because Celina has been established for so long, it's going to have a lot of old homes scattered throughout and ranch style homes, a lot of dated homes, older generations that have been living there that are now ready to move up, maybe into new construction or downsize, and they haven't ever updated those homes. So it's a great opportunity for investors or first-time home buyers that are looking for a project, or you can just skip all of that, move into some new construction properties that are under 400K. Here's some examples. Here's a simple example of a house that is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 345,000. You can see clearly built within the last couple of years, ready to move in, has what you need, granite countertops, nice cabinets, flooring, it's ready to go. So you can get a nice home for under 350 on the new construction side. And if you want some land in Celina, you have an example of like this home that is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath that just sold, and it sits on 7.5 acres. Now it's sold for $3.3 million, but you're getting the land to go along with that. And if you want a little bit of land, you're going to find that opportunity in Celina as well for the time being, because there's still a lot of open area that hasn't been developed yet. As I mentioned, 30,000 residents moving to 378,000. So you will drive around, see a lot of open fields, a lot of hay fields. By the way, I grew up in Stephenville, a couple hours south of Dallas. That's all that was around there was dairy farms and hay fields. And if you've ever worked in that environment, that's real work right there. Or you have homes that have sold recently, like in Mustang Lakes, one of the most popular subdivisions. For example, this 5-bedroom, 6.5 bath that is 4,534 square feet at 1.475 million. Didn't even last that long on the market. It's immaculate, absolutely beautiful. And you're gonna find top of the line new construction. I would say Celina is the city of new construction right now. Everything going up around there, new construction all over the place. But again, affordable housing at this time. You can still get new construction properties under 350,000. You can find some much older homes probably for under 3, maybe even under 2, as I mentioned earlier, if you want a little project, because as you saw in the pictures on that last one, you probably don't want to move into that one as is, but you want to get it cleaned out, do some touch-ups and upgrades, and you'll be well on your way. But also, before we jump into pro number 3, I want to highlight some of the main communities in Celina. You have Bluewood, Buffalo Ridge, Light Farms, Sutton Fields, The Columns, Creeks of Legacy, Greenway, Cambridge Crossing, Glen Crossing, Liliana, Mustang Lakes, Owensby Farms, Chalk Hill, Green Meadows, Crossword Creek Estates, and Wellspring Estates, just to name a few. And those are some of the most popular new construction communities in Celina right now that a lot of people love. We're going to talk about 3 really quick. First community I wanted to highlight was Green Meadows, just because I think it's kind of cool. Now, here's some really unique things about Green Meadows. They have a huge resort level pool that features not 1, but 2 large 30-foot water slides along with a separate kiddie pool. It's a super refreshing place to chill out and just soak up the sun. They have scenic hike and bike paths that weave their way all throughout the landscapes of the Green Meadows. You can run, jog, stroll, or roll, and the fresh air is bound to make you feel good. And if you have a green thumb, they have a community garden in the community as well that you can contribute to, help out, get your kids involved. Really great way to get their fingers dirty. They have a state-of-the-art fitness center with over a 10,000 square foot clubhouse that also features party rooms, event spaces, and a kitchen. And in the heart of the amenity complex, you have an amphitheater, which is really cool for live venues and lots of events that they love to host in that community. Then you have good old Light Farms. This is one of the talk of the town as far as communities go in Celina, Texas. Here's a little bit more about Light Farms. Light Farms has a modern take on North Texas living. It's a very tight-knit community with over 1,070 acres that were previously owned and farmed by the Light family, hence Light Farms. So they've curated the space to pay homage to the past while creating something new for generations to come, and this was started development in 2014. There's no shortage of amenities in Light Farms. You can hit the trails, which has over 13 plus miles of trails that allow you to enjoy the outdoors while connecting you to the community and its amenities. And they have plenty of parks, green belts, picnic spaces, playgrounds, and community lawns that adds up to over 240 acres of green spaces to explore. Plus, you can relax at one of 5 amazing neighborhood pools, including the Junior Olympic Pool, which is perfect for laps. You know, you can put on your little beanie cap, your Speedos, and have at it. But they really want to make sure that you and your family have a sense of belonging. So not only in addition to all the outdoor amenities, but they have over 200 plus annual events to share. So no matter your interests, you'll find something here that will fit them. They even have a community restaurant and marketplace that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner alongside a marketplace with grocery essentials, and their menu includes vegan and gluten-free options. They even have bartenders that can pour local beers and use house-infused liquors for creative cocktails. You can also catch live music from local artists weekly there at the Nook. I mean, it's everything you could ask for, and you probably could drive your golf cart home if you have maybe one too many. I don't know. I don't think you can. Maybe you can't drink it. No, I don't think you can drink and drive on a golf cart either. But be responsible. Hey, golf cart, that's a main method of transportation around that community. Well, then you have good old Mustang Lakes. It's one of the most popular areas in all of Celina as well. Here's what you need to know. So Mustang Lakes has the largest amenity center in North Texas. It features a resort-style swimming pool with cabanas, indoor and outdoor entertaining spaces, state-of-the-art fitness center, amphitheater, and more. Surrounding 20-acre Central Park features hiking trails, mature trees, tennis courts, sports courts, and a private lake with an island. The club at Mustang Lakes is like having a country club in your own backyard, and it's located on the prosperous Celina border just minutes from McKinney and Frisco. It offers easy access to Highway 380, the Dallas North Tollway, and 75. Just a few of the amenities to mention are a junior Olympic pool, resort, and top pool, 5-acre stocked lake with an island, and overlooks 6,700 square feet. The 6,700 square foot private amenity center, it has a fitness center, 4 competition tennis courts, an amphitheater, nearly 10 miles of trails, playground, resort pool and cabanas, event lawn, and a future secondary amenity center. And Mustang Lakes is served by the highly acclaimed Prosper Independent School District. It's ranked the #1 school district in the area. Prosper ISD boasts an impressive 15-to-1 student to teacher ratio and has an overall ranking of excellence, with every school in the district from kindergarten through 12th grade achieving this impressive distinction. Now, the #3 pro of living in Celina, Texas, of course, is going to be the schools. All of these areas in North Dallas, around Frisco, Prosper, Allen, McKinney, I mean, they're just rated high, and Celina is no different. It's an A-rated school. It has a couple of elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school, so it's not as extensive as Prosper or Frisco. You know, Frisco has 12 high schools, and Prosper has 3 now that they have developed, which do share some of the schools with Celina. So depending on where you live, you could either be at the Celina School District or you could be in Prosper School District. So keep that in mind as you're looking in homes in the area. Now, Celina ISD is one of the top employers in Celina. Again, not going to be in that $162,000 median salary like you saw earlier, unless maybe if you're administration, not for the teachers, but it's one of the top employers in Celina, over 500 employees, and they are hiring right now for many positions you can see, such as a bus driver, substitute teacher, special ed, SLC instructional, school counselors, food services, speak language, elementary bilingual teacher, elementary teacher, and on and on and on. So they have several positions open in Celina. So if you're in the educational industry, this could be a good opportunity. As you can see, plenty of options. And again, going back to even with the hospitals, even though that hospitals are not open yet, you've got plenty of options in Prosper and McKinney right next door. There's good sized hospitals over in McKinney as well, and Frisco. So you have something close, and then maybe you transfer over whenever the new hospital opens. So if you're in healthcare or education, Celina is a good little hub for you to be in. And of course, when it comes to schools, everyone's always concerned about the sports, because Friday Night Lights is the real deal here in Texas, and that's going to be the most happening thing going on there in Celina probably. But they've got several athletic programs such as baseball, boys basketball, girls basketball, cross country, football, golf, powerlifting, boys soccer, girls soccer, softball, swimming, tennis, track and field, and volleyball at the high school alone. If you're at the middle school, they've got boys basketball, girls basketball, cross country, football, boys and girls soccer, tennis, track and field, and volleyball. So no shortage of giving the kids something to do after school. So the #4 pro of living in Celina, Texas is going to be the location. Now, some of you may say, wait, what? Location? It's 50, 60 minutes from downtown Dallas. Well, guess what? The people that live in North Dallas don't typically go to Dallas that often, okay? They're working in Plano or Frisco. By the way, you're only 15 minutes to Frisco, about 18 to 20 minutes to Plano, 10 minutes to Prosper. So that's where all of the jobs in North Dallas are mostly concentrated. Of course, they're scattered throughout, but the border of Frisco and Plano, and moving around in Prosper right now too, especially if you're in the construction fields or education, then you have opportunities there. So Celina is close proximity to that. As I mentioned, with Frisco becoming the new hub, if you're within 30 minutes of Frisco, I think you're going to be all right. Again, most people that live in North Dallas don't travel down to downtown Dallas that often, and if you do, it's a nice little weekend trip. You can get down there pretty quickly. Traffic is mostly light on the weekends. This isn't like New York or California California or Seattle, where it's always just kind of like crazy traffic all the time. Trust me, I've been there and I've lived there a little while. And the thing is that you can get down for a quick, easy trip if you want to experience the big city life. But otherwise, most people like the slower pace of life. That's why they're moving to Celina. They're looking for that growth and appreciation in the real estate. They're looking for that small town community, that small town feel. They're looking for the schools. Then they're looking for close proximity to be within Frisco and Plano. So as far as location, that is a pro if all of those areas check your box. In addition to that, we love our lake life here in Dallas, and you're only 13 minutes to Lake Ray Roberts. You're only 20 minutes to Louisville Lake, and you're only 30 minutes to Lavon Lake. And that's what we love to do here in the summertime is the lake life. We don't have mountains or beach. Well, we got beach on the lakes, I guess you could say. But around the lakes, you've got great opportunities for fishing, biking, hiking, water skiing, surfing, all that cool stuff. I just love the lake life. That's what we do in the summers to stay cool. It's nice and breezy on the lakes, and there's lots of elevation changes around the lakes, which makes it good for mountain biking and hiking. So you're not too far. Within 30 minutes of 3 different lakes, you got easy access to get to all of them. And if you go up to Lake Ray Roberts, you're gonna have a straight shot. You're probably not gonna deal with any traffic. You're gonna drive through some fields, look at some hay bales, and next thing you know, you'll be at the lake. So you are in close proximity, and then you can head down to Frisco. There is plenty to do in Frisco. You've got the Rough Riders, you've got FC Dallas, you've got the video game museums, you've got Stonebriar Mall, you've got parks, and then you got Plano right there as well. So Plano, you got Legacy West, Shops at Legacy, and they're developing the Fields of Frisco, which are going to be just on the border of Frisco and Prosper. You're going to have access to that within the next couple of years, and the Universal theme park there that's going in, the Universal Water Park actually. And so you're going to have something there close to home as well. So you're going to be just fine in Celina whenever it comes to proximity and location. All right, number 5 on the list for pros of living in Celina is going to be low crime. I mean, it just doesn't really happen there according to all the websites, and if you look at the police reports and everything else. So that's something you definitely want to check into, but otherwise, it's mainly just petty crime, you know? And so don't leave your purse in the car at night. Don't leave your car unlocked at night on the street. You know, those types of simple things. It's just usually random rowdy teenagers running around, which they're not supposed to, right? They should be at home getting rest so they can go play sports the next day or something. But, you know, that's the thing. Mostly petty crime, petty theft, things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. You're not going to see a lot of the bad stuff there. And again, being that small of a community as well, people will know people and people will get to know you. And especially when you move in there, just be ready. You know, people are going to notice the new face and they're going to come up. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to say, hey, haven't seen you around here. Did you just move here? All right. And then they're going to get to know you. So even on Celina's website, this is how they describe their community. The residents of Celina, Texas stay connected due in part to the city's family-friendly environment, their faith, and a strong sense of community. Living in Celina means relying on the strength and comfort of committed police and fire departments, a pro-business city government, and effective educators. Our communities are masterfully planned and offer prospective residents a variety of residential options. Doesn't that sound like a pretty good mission statement for a city? I mean, that sounds like all the great things you want. Good education, a strong police and fire department to look after you, pro-business, pro-faith. I mean, that's the good stuff. That's what we love. That's a good Texas hometown, which actually brings me to the next pro, which is that small town community country vibe. So if you don't like that, if you're coming from New York and you know you don't like to talk to people, just kidding. You know you're nice too. But you're coming down here, like I said, just be ready to get stopped and asked, you know, hey, new to the area, haven't seen you around here. I mean, people get to know people. And that's a cool thing. They've got this really nice downtown square where they host a ton of events, activities, shops, restaurants around there. Although a little bit limited, it's okay. Plenty to do. You got to check out the donut shop and the coffee shop over there. They're great. And that's what they want. They want people to know each other. They want people to look out for each other. They want that sense of community, and they want traditional values there, which is just, hey, mind your own business, but let's look out for each other at the same time. And that's what I love about Texas and these areas. And of course, number 7 would be the economy in Celina, Texas. It's booming because of the proximity of everything going around there. All the new construction, the tollway. I mean, if you're in construction, you're going to have plenty to do around there. As I mentioned, if you are in the retail industry, all the strip malls and shopping centers and the Costco going up there, you're going to have opportunity there. Over 500 employees of the Celina School District with maybe 20 to 30 positions open right now. New hospitals coming in. It's continually growing. Plus you got Prosper and Frisco at your doorstep, which those are booming economies right now. Overall, the North Dallas area is one of the top economies in the entire United States. Unemployment is low. Businesses and corporations are moving in every single day. It makes for one of the perfect environments right now. And that's why we're still seeing homes appreciate and go up in price, regardless of what you're maybe seeing on the national news. So there's still opportunity there, still a lot of room to grow. And I think it's still a great time to buy. All right, but with all that good stuff about Celina also comes the bad stuff. I know, wah, wah, wah. But it's true. And I would say number one, the growth and appreciation, which comes with construction, would be the biggest downside to living in Celina. If you don't like living in construction zones, you don't like dust and dirt flying around depending on where you're at, you don't like a little backed up traffic because they haven't completely expanded all the roads everywhere. If you're looking for, try to go north and there's no tollway. I mean, there's just a lot going on. You're in communities where they're still building new homes. So some of the roads are going to be dirty and muddy, maybe boards and bricks and all that stuff laying around, unfinished homes. For the time being, you have to look at that stuff, but realize the sooner you buy in a new construction community, that's usually built-in appreciation for your property. Usually the people that buy first in new construction areas, whenever that's complete, prices go up and get higher and higher. I mean, your home typically appreciates by default. So that's the price of putting up with all of the construction, all of the dirt, all of the mud temporarily, but you'll gain that. And I will take appreciation in a home any day to deal with a little bit of construction. I'm okay with that. All right, the number two con of living in Celina, Texas is going to be lack of things to do. Lack of restaurants, lack of high-end restaurants, lack of shopping, lack of nightlife. I mean, again, small country town, small town vibe, Friday night football, you've got that. So you're covered during football season when it comes to Friday night. Maybe if they have an event that weekend or something, but it will probably close down by dark. But again, not a lot of people are moving to Celina for the nightlife or the things to do. You've got Prosper again and Frisco in your backyard. So that's where you're going to find a lot more selection, a lot, not as much in Prosper, but it's starting to grow and develop. But Frisco does have everything you need. So, you want to get out for a Friday night or a Saturday night. You might want to take the spouse down to Frisco for the fancy night out, right? Enjoy it. Otherwise, you have everything you need in Celina, enough to get by. And if you kind of like do the same stuff and you're not worried about that, then it's not going to be a big deal. If you love a ton of variety and you want to experience new things all the time, then you're going to be driving to Prosper, to Frisco, to Plano, those areas. All right. And maybe down to Dallas for the weekends. But hey, it's all within a short drive. It'll be a nice drive and shouldn't be too bad about it. But otherwise, there's a lack of that type of variety in Celina. So it depends on what you're like and what you're looking for, but just keep that in mind. All right. Another con of living in Celina, Texas is going to be the location. But wait a second, didn't you say location was a pro? Well, yeah, if you're going to be working from home or working in Prosper or Frisco or possibly Plano. But if you're going to be working in Dallas, this is going to be a huge con. I mean, unless you're only going into the office 2 or 3 days a week, but still those 2 or 3 days a week you go into the office, it's going to be a trek. You're looking at least an hour to get down there. Plus, if you do that in the mornings, you're going to hit traffic. So that could add to it. Coming home, you're going to hit traffic depending on which time. Getting to the airport again could be 45, 50, maybe 60 minutes to get to the airport. So if you're a frequent traveler by plane, that could become a problem if you're doing that every single week. But again, I guess it's all in perspective. If you like to listen to audiobooks or podcasts or jam your music, then probably not a big deal. I like being in the car. To me, it's kind of like my zen time, my quiet time. Most of the time, it's just me in there cruising to properties, meeting with clients, running around town, and everything else I've got going on. I like to be in the car sometimes. Plus, I got a Ford Bronco, so it's pretty cool. Anytime I can drive in the Bronco, I'm happy. I'm enjoying that. And it's top-down weather right now, so I've got the soft top on there. I can pop it back. It's amazing. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of cons of living in Celina. It's pretty good. It's something that you definitely want to consider, and if you're considering buying and you have some questions, again, just reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All of our information is in the description below. If you want to download our free relocation guide, you can do that. That's in the description below as well. And again, you have to ask what's best for your situation. So So all we're here is to help you on your journey, and your journey is specific. It's unique. We don't know how to serve you best until we have a conversation, get to know you a lot better, figure out what's the right move for you and your family. Is it a good time to buy? Is it not a good time to buy? I actually just made a video. It's called Dumb Agent, which is why I just bought a personal home in this market with these interest rates. And why would I do that? You should definitely check that out if you're kind of on the fence. I'll help you understand a little bit of my reasoning why I thought it was a good time to buy. But we're still helping clients every single day buy and sell homes. And if you're thinking about selling your home and you're not sure where you're going to go, we can help you with that. The main thing is that reach out, we can have a conversation, figure out what's right for you and your family, timing, all of that. It's okay. We just want to see if we can help you out if possible. And, let us know if we can do that. And until next time, well, we hope to show you around town.